And now I give you the once and future leader of the Green Party, Elizabeth May. Prochaine chef du Parti vert du Canada, Elizabeth May.
Congratulations, take good note of my goals.
Thank you, I know. You know what? It just doesn't feel right to have it just be Jonathan and me up here. We're a team. Sarah, Simon, Chad, and Anna, come on up. We're a team. Come on up. Get up here.
Come out to PEI.
Okay. So I just got an invitation to PEI. That's happening soon. Listen, I think we should stay here together for a moment or two. I've seen too much stuff in the media about how we're a party divided and we can't get our act together. I challenge anyone here to remember any other party that ever ran a leadership race where everybody built the other candidates up, supported each other, built a team. Nous sommes ensemble comme une équipe verte. Nous sommes ensemble de travailler à l'avenir ensemble. Nous sommes une équipe. So, if you want to sit down, I wish I could sit, but it's up to you. You want? Okay, okay, you can sit. I said, if you don't have to hang around, if you want to, relax. Je veux dire un grand merci à tout le monde. La gestion de campagne pour moi, my dear friend Marlene Wells, who's down there, yay Marlene, who did an awesome job, and Jonathan's campaign manager, Randy Ramdeen. Whoa. Very grateful, and to a lot of our volunteers, to Lindsay, and to Chip, to Sheila, to Evelyn, Ev Tanaka, and Naomi, and so many wonderful people across the country. It's difficult to put into words what it means to take a stage as the next leader of the Green Party of Canada. C'est un peu de déjà vu, mais ce n'est pas la même chose, parce que c'est en 2006 que j'étais élue, la première fois comme chef. Mais maintenant, c'est une proposition tout à fait différente, parce que je ne suis pas ici toute seule. I'm here with my partner, the youngest candidate in the race. I don't want to emphasize too much on the oldest candidate in the race, but at a very young 68, my running mate and partner, and we hope the party will accept that it's always up to the members, our members of the strength of the party and our members of the power of the party, to decide whether we will take our constitution to co-leaders. I was reading today the disastrous COP27 news and looking at the quotes, who was quoted, which ministers, which countries are progressive in pushing for change. The Foreign Affairs Minister for Germany was quoted, Annalena Baerbock, co-leader of the German Greens. Was reading a quote from the Irish Climate Minister, Eamon Ryan, leader of the Greens of Ireland. Reading a comment from one of the strongest climate negotiators there, James Shaw, Minister of Climate from New Zealand, co-leader of the New Zealand Greens. For those of you who are scratching your heads at home and saying, co-leader, what's that mean? It means a different model for leadership that emphasizes that Greens do things differently. We don't have a top-down leader, a boss, who tells people what to say or where to go or how to vote. Jamais. We have a distributed model of leadership, and Jonathan and I believe that our values are better reflected in co-leadership. And obviously, Chad Wolcott and Anna Keenan believe the same. So our party will go forward to look at some significant changes. 16 years ago, when I was elected leader in this space, well, not quite this space, next door at the conference center in late August of 2006, we had far fewer members, and a lot of our members didn't think we could elect anyone until we got rid of first past the post. It was a while to win the first Green seat. It was until May of 2011 when I defeated a sitting cabinet minister from Stephen Harper's cabinet and took my seat, unexpectedly to some, Not a surprise to the voters in Saanich Gulf Islands who had rallied round to make this happen. I'm so honored to have been elected and then re-elected and remain a very, very humble and grateful representative of the people of Saanich Gulf Islands, which is on the traditional territory of the Saanich Nation. So I raise my hands to people, particularly the indigenous peoples of my communities, and say in Sanchothan, Haishka, Haishka Siem, I am so very grateful. 3 years ago, just this month, 3 years ago, I stepped down as leader, confident that the party was strong and ready with 3 elected MPs to see a change. I do think we need change. I absolutely hear the voices that want change, that want to see younger leadership, that want to see a different way the party goes forward. It's been 11 weeks since I was allowed to say out loud that I was running for leader of the Green Party of Canada, and that my running partner in this was Jonathan Pedneault. I want to turn the microphone to Jonathan and then wrap up with a few final words after sharing, because this is about sharing. This is a real partnership, and I know I'm supposed to keep going, but I want Jonathan to say a few words, and then I'll close up.
Merci, Elisabeth. Merci, Elisabeth. Merci à tous les candidats. Merci aux membres qui ont voté, parce que sans vous, ce parti n'existe pas. Et je pense que c'est important de le rappeler. Vous êtes le cœur du Parti vert, le Parti vert qu'on a enterré tant de fois, est encore en vie, puis on va aller plus loin. On va aller beaucoup plus loin. We know that there's much to do to cultivate trust, to rebuild trust internally, but there's also a lot of work to do to project that confident, happy, smiley face of ours externally. So I want to do that very briefly because the odds do appear to be against us. But that's a story that most Canadians would be familiar with, because the odds were against us and continue to be against us in so many different ways. Canada is a place where small can mean mighty, where small can be smart and overtake the powerful ones, the powerful interests. And this is what the Green Party is about. This is what the membership, this is what this party will continue to do in Ottawa and throughout the country. Look, we're the party for the families that want to spend more time with their loved ones. We're the party for those who think that billionaires should not exist. We're the party for those who believe strongly that this planet needs protecting. On est le parti pour les Québécois qui cherchent une voix différente à Ottawa, une voix qui va les représenter de manière objective, mais qui va aussi faire avancer les intérêts de tous les Québécois et de l'environnement et de la planète. So this is the work that Elizabeth and I will be doing, and we look forward to your support. Thank you once again, Elizabeth.
Well, I reflected on what had happened, 16 years ago, and what happened 3 years ago. But I want to go way back to what happened 40 years ago. My husband was just reminding me that it was exactly this month, 40 years ago, that he was part of the founding of the first of the Greens in Canada, the Green Party of British Columbia. 2023 will be the 40th anniversary of the Green Party of Canada. It's time for a lot of grown-up stuff that happens when you turn 40, and you make sure that everything is really nailed down, and you're going to do a great job here on out. We're going to be able to be, how do we figure out at under 40 how to buy a house? I don't think we're going to be able to figure that out. But we are going to be a party that earns the trust and the faith of Canadians, and before the next election, gives Canadians an option they can vote for with enthusiasm, instead of once again going to the polls and holding their nose and voting for someone they don't particularly like in hopes they keep someone worse out. That's not the election I want to see, not for the next generation. I think we can all be inspired by what just happened in November in the midterms in the United States, because guess who turned out to vote? The people who were supposed to give it a miss. The youth, the women, the young women who said, if you're going to try to take away my rights and fight women's rights, We're going to teach you a thing or two, and we're going to deliver a result the polls didn't see coming. We're going to do that again in this country, because when Greens win, it's from high voter turnout. When I was elected back in May 2011, it was because Saanich Gulf Islands had the highest voter turnout in the country. All the people who had given up decided to pick up their stubby little pencil and exercise some power. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to give Canadians a reason to believe that democracy works. Il est vraiment possible d'avoir un changement avec le pouvoir sur le terrain, avec les racines très engagées dans les enjeux primordiaux, particulièrement contre la crise de changement climatique. I'm going to close with some words that I actually shared back in August 2006. It's a quote from someone I had the honor to know, a friend of mine, one of the founders of the German Greens, Petra Kelly. Petra Kelly said in the early part of the 1990s, quote, "If there is a future, it will be green. S'il y a un avenir, il sera vert." C'est clair que maintenant, c'est la science qui dit la même chose. It's no longer a hypothetical statement, if there is a future, it will be green. It's a scientific reality. We don't hang on to human civilization. We don't protect our biosphere as a living, healthy thing, which, by the way, the economy, as Herman Daly, great economist, used to say, the economy is a wholly owned subsidiary of the environment. I have sort of a bulletin to Pierre Poilievre. There is no economy without a functioning biosphere. I could send the same memo to Justin Trudeau because he has also forgotten. Petra Kelly said, quote, "We, the generation that faces the next century, can add this solemn injunction. If we don't do the impossible, we will be faced with the unthinkable," unquote. Fortunately, in this, Greens draw inspiration from others who have done the impossible, whether it's Nelson Mandela, whether it's Martin Luther King. We draw inspiration from those who have proven that the status quo and the trend lines of the moment can be changed. The future is not yet written, and we refuse to face the unthinkable. We refuse, and those of you who are boomers like me get a lot more radical now. We're fighting for our grandchildren. We don't give up. We don't take breaks. We work till we ensure that the planet is secure. S'il y a un avenir, il sera vert. Merci et bonne nuit. Stay.
Here I am in the middle of your clap.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No. Here I am in the middle of their applause. This is not right. C'est maintenant non. C'est maintenant le moment pour les questions des médias. It's now time for media questions. We have about 10 minutes before I'll come back and close the evening. Et Fabrice, là, a le micro pour tout le monde qui veut demander une question. So everyone wants a question. Fabrice has a microphone. We have about 10 minutes for questions, then I'll close, and then there will be further questions after.
Hi, congratulations, you two. Whoa. It doesn't matter, as long as you can hear me.
Sorry,
David
I'm
Thurton,
blinded
CBC
here.
News.
Sorry.
So I guess the first question I just want to ask you is, like, obviously, Madam May, you're the leader of the Greens, you're the official leader, but is it fair to say that, unofficially, that you consider yourself and Pedneault the leader of the Greens? Is that?
Officially, we ran as separate campaigns as required by Elections Canada and the Green Party rules. But people voting for me knew the platform was very clearly to offer ourselves as a team. And we cannot use the term "we are now co-leaders of the Green Party of Canada" because that will require a change to the Constitution. But we are clearly a team. And Jonathan and I will be explaining details in coming days. But we are here to be, with members' approval, after the next constitutional convention, which I hope will be soon, we'll be able to go forward. I know Sarah's been proposing, and I agree totally, that the next BGM should be, or annual general meeting, should be this spring. I hope so.
So do you intend to appoint Pedneault as your deputy leader? And how
That's-
will that look to, sorry.
That's what's in the platform on the website of elizabethmay.ca and jonathanpedneault.ca.
But not officially your co-leader. And just the follow-up question.
And I have to stop and say, the deputy leader for Quebec, appointed by Dr. Kuttner, Luc Jolicoeur, has been amazing. Luc Jolicoeur a fait un job incroyable et j'espère qu'il va rester dans le cabinet fantôme comme critique de finances.
Okay. And just the follow-up and final question for me is, what do you make of the turnout? We're seeing that 36%, somewhere around 36% of eligible Green voters, your members, voted in this election. Last time we elected, you all elected a leader, well, you know, the turnout was around 69%. What does that say to you about the health of democracy within your party, engagement, all that kind of stuff?
I have to say I am disappointed by the level of turnout, but I have to say, given the climate in which this campaign was fought, and I think all of us as candidates felt the headwinds, it's a respectable show of support from our membership in their commitment to this party. It's far more members than were able to vote in 2006 because the party membership has grown so much. So it's something that we will pay attention to and listen to and ensure that our members are engaged and that many more of them return to the party. By the way, if you're watching this from somewhere and you let your membership lapse, I have heard from lots of people say, oh, I thought I was still a member. I wanted to vote for you, but I just checked. I'm not a member anymore. Join, please, now. Send money, please, now. We are rebuilding the party, and it is a team effort. Everybody on board.
Je vais vous relancer sur cette question-là. Qu'est-ce que ça dit quand un tiers seulement des membres se prononcent? Est-ce que la situation est récupérable, j'ai envie de vous dire, ou ça ne l'est plus, on est dans une débandade?
Oui, oh non, c'est absolument, nous sommes forts. Nous avons 2 députés dans la Chambre des communes. Ce n'est pas facile d'avoir ça. Il y a les autres partis au niveau fédéral, comme le Parti des peuples avec Maxime Bernier. Il n'y a pas gagné un seul siège. Un parti avec 2 députés est un parti avec une position forte. Et maintenant, on doit reconstruire les autres éléments, particulièrement de lire les autres députés. Peut-être les autres députés vont nous joindre comme traverser les paquets possiblement. Nous avons les possibilités énormes pour reconstruire le parti et pour gagner dans les sondages et gagner les sièges.
Est-ce qu'il y a des députés que vous avez déjà dans votre mire qui pourraient retraverser? Est-ce que, par exemple, une Jenica Atwin pourrait se joindre à nouveau au Vert?
Oui. Il y a quelques députés, j'ai parlé avec quelques députés de temps en temps qui s'intéressent, mais maintenant, ce n'est pas, je ne veux pas utiliser les noms des députés dans les autres partis pour raisons très évidentes.
J'aimerais vous entendre sur votre collaboration de, je comprends, co-chef ou co-porte-parole. Est-ce que les membres auront de l'appétit pour ça? Parce que je pense que ça a déjà été soumis. Est-ce qu'il y a vous sentez de l'appétit chez les membres pour ce genre de leadership-là à 2 têtes?
Je pense que oui. Il y a, pour les autres candidats ici, nous avons eu dans la dernière course à la chefferie une conversation très active sur cette question. Il y a plusieurs questions vers les autres candidats dans la dernière course à la chefferie. Et aussi, je veux dire que particulièrement pour les membres du Parti vert au Québec, ce n'est pas quelque chose inconnu à cause de les 2 porte-paroles de Québec solidaire.
Monsieur Pedneault, j'aimerais vous entendre en terminant sur, selon vous, vous êtes nouveau quand même en politique. Le plus grand défi du Parti vert, selon vous, à ce moment-ci, est-ce que c'est d'unifier les troupes? Est-ce que c'est les finances? Est-ce que c'est de même de redéfinir peut-être le rôle du parti?
Le plus grand défi du Parti vert, bien évidemment, c'est de de faire avancer nos politiques à Ottawa, de faire élire plus de Verts. Puis pour ce faire, on a besoin de rallier les troupes, on a besoin de plus de fonds. Puis Elisabeth et moi allons mener ce combat de front avec tous les membres qui sont déjà impliqués, puis avec un peu d'espoir, avec tous les incroyables candidats que cette course a parvenu à faire connaître aux yeux de tous les membres puis des Canadiens en général.
Et vous, votre rôle, vous le voyez comment, puisque vous n'êtes pas élu? Vous allez faire du terrain, ce sera quoi votre rôle?
Principalement, on a de grands défis en termes d'organisation à l'interne. Il faut qu'on fasse accroître notre membership. Donc, avec Elisabeth, on va continuer à être sur le terrain, on va continuer à aller parler aux Canadiens, aux Québécois, d'un océan à l'autre pour faire croître le membership, ramener les troupes et puis avoir une bonne équipe à présenter aux Canadiens à la prochaine élection.
Nous sommes un exemple de l'avenir de partager le job. Job sharing is us.
Raisa Patel, the Toronto Star. You've both spoken about rebuilding trust in this party, and I'm wondering, what will you tackle first to achieve that?
We have put in our platform very detailed plans. I think it's worth mentioning that in the 2 years or so that we've had recent troubles, there's never been a time that all the members elected to federal council have been in the same room together, have even met. I think we need a retreat as soon as possible to bring together the leadership, federal council elected members, our newly elected president, whom you've had the joy to meet tonight, Ian Sutar, members of the fund. Human relationships and trust are based on contact information, but really the social cohesion that comes from actually meeting someone builds trust. It's been very hard to have Zoom meetings for people to build trust in each other. So that'll be the first step. We'll be, I think, very successful in fundraising in the month of December. That will, again, build more confidence going forward, and we will expect to see some good results in Parliament very soon.
And as a second question, what would you say the relevance of the Green Party is now under your leadership or future co-leadership?
When the Secretary General of the United Nations says the world is on a highway to climate hell, foot on the accelerator, and only one political party in Canada speaks to this directly and honestly with a plan to first take your foot off the accelerator, maybe change course, do what's required to ensure we have a livable world, we're the only relevant party. Quelques d'autres questions? Any other questions? And I think we're inviting back up our phenomenal, immediately past leader, the amazing Dr. Amita Kuttner.
Thank you, everyone. This is the end of our evening of programming. We'll all be around for questions, of course. C'est la fin de la soirée maintenant. And of course, the beginning of a new chapter. So thank you, everyone. Merci beaucoup, tout le monde. Bonne nuit. Good evening.